Hello, everybody. Okay, I got a little paranoid. Because, desktop audio gets captured for this. So I saw kind of both moving for the music and my voice. I was like, uh-oh, something wrong? No, we're okay. Hello, everybody. We're here with another MIDI Bard session. Yay. Yay? Yay. I think a yay. I was kind of messing with some things before stream. Mainly because I noticed something happened. It was bugging me last time when I was trying to play what it sounded like MIDI through Windows Media Player. I'm just like, this doesn't sound quite right. It almost sounds good. What's going on? And so, for those who don't know, because I didn't really go into it during Claw stream, when I played Claw, I wanted to change the MIDI to the Sound Blaster AWE32 font, which is what I had. Hey, Phoenix, welcome in. And I'll woo to you too as well. So, yeah, I had found a program called CoolSoft Virtual MIDI Synth. Basically, it will take the default Windows, it's not a font, but for all intents and purposes, basically it's a sound font, and allow you to put it to whatever you want, which is how I got Claw to play with the Sound Blaster MIDI sound that I had before. Unbeknownst to me, when this takes over, Windows Media Player decides to forget exactly what you were doing with it. Even if you tell it to use its own built-in GS wavetable synth. And yeah, I did try because it was on Virtual MIDI Synth 1, and it did not go back. I'm like, well, shit. That doesn't help me when I'm trying to show or audibly demonstrate what a MIDI would sound like through normal Windows. So I got a sound font that is basically a recreation of that. I hate that I had to go that route, but I tried to clear out CoolSoft here, or probably just Virtual MIDI Synth is the actual name of the program. CoolSoft's probably the company name. Yeah, and just nothing was coming through. So we're going to use a sound font to recreate the default Microsoft MIDI experience. And something I noticed is that on the fly, with Windows Media Player, I can actually change which one I want and hit apply, and it'll real-time change. I know that shouldn't sound too enthused, like, ooh, but I'm just like, oh, new toy to play with. Ongoing, I'll probably leave it like this unless I go back to Claw someday, which hopefully, because I still got to beat Claw. Yeah, I remember to change that back when that comes. Probably not going to be too many instances in which I need to change things in Virtual MIDI Synth here, but hey, figured since I was kind of going through that and it kind of came up last time that I would just kind of quickly cover that. But what we're doing today, during the Friday stream, playing through Tyrion, there was one track called One Mustn't Fall, which is actually a reference to One Must Fall 2097, another Epic Games published game. I think that one actually might have had some team members working on it. So they had a track in there called One Mustn't Fall in Tyrion. So that's why I've got One Must Fall music playing right now. And hence the go live message and the title stream all referencing. All right, so let us get going here. A little pre-warning. I really should have opened up the sim font first. All right, let's see what we got. This is under MIDI rips. Oh yeah, so as I was gonna say, because this is a rip right from Tyrion's own MIDI files, one mustn't fall. I was about to say there may be some odd changeovers, but honestly, here. So we'll have to try to work around these changes in here. Why they do that? Like, these other ones make sense. They're just setting what instrument's supposed to be, but when they have these multiple changes, I just don't get why they do that. Oh, goodness gracious. They really went back and forth on that? Why? I guess it's like the main melody track, but why? Yeah, sometimes the programming in these MIDI rips is a little crazy. And if you remember from the first MIDI Bard session we did, and trying to work around a rip's particular programming, this may or may not go well. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know exactly what it's doing here, knowing the song the way I do. Those other ones are fine. These ones probably wait a little bit. I don't know. We'll just have to dive in and see. That's part of the process, finding out what exactly happens with these. So, let us start with a basic, get everything on Dawn's Columbo. Yeah, so during Tyrion, like, I was aware of this track, but I often only hear, like, the very beginning while I'm going through the jukebox. Or at least that's how I used to listen to the tracks from Tyrion. Its own built-in jukebox from the setup program. But now I got the separate game file, so I just listen through that. Or if I spoke a little too soon about my focus. I mean, I'm not tired right now, so I think we'll be okay. Just apply it to the whole track right now. Might as well put those on. Actually save, and before we crash, let's close it and reopen it. So I'll hunt it down. I can actually close this down too, the virtual MIDI synth. Now that I've showed that off. Yeah, let's get that open. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Alright, these ones are only on these. I'm not sure what's going off that. That's just one, so that's nice. That's just one, nice. That's just one, hey. So there's a few tracks that we gotta worry about the changing instruments on. Because these ones... a little bit rapid. It's like I'm very sure I know what's happening there. Once I figure out instruments, I'll be easy enough just pain to change it. That's really what it is. Like, something as simple as what I think is happening with these notes here, it's not going to be a problem to figure out the instruments. It's just a pain, like, how quickly it's changing between them. Which means I got to highlight each one, change, 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 change. That's going to be the real pain. But, hey, part of the process, part of the experimentation. So let's go ahead and pause the One Must Fall and play the One Mustn't Fall. Wait, before I do, what's the volume at? Where? Probably doesn't have volume because it hasn't played yet. Yeah, let's preemptively. I don't want to blow anybody's ears out for that. Yeah. Okay. There you go. I think we got a bounce per stream now. Yep, that's doing exactly what I thought it was. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. At least this track is predictable. I'll give it that. It's a lot of changes, but at least because it is predictable, I'm not going to have to worry about particular instruments too much. Because whatever octave brass section I end up, or whatever instrument becomes that, I could probably apply it to the other ones that are in there. Man, you really can't hear the melody on that. That's another reason why that track didn't used to stand out to me. Because this wasn't in the shareware version of Tyrion, which I spent a lot of time younger playing through. So because later on, by the time I did get around to playing it, well, I've had this discussion beforehand since I'm rambling here. Yeah, so I've mentioned before. Oh, what was it? I think it was during Wing Commander when I was talking about the Kilrathi saga changes, because Sound Blaster compatibility kind of fell to the wayside. So eventually, general MIDI settings in older games kind of became more prevalent if you want to be able to actually play back properly. Because, you know, standard default sound chips that came in later, let's say like Windows XP onwards, really weren't built for Sound Blaster compatibility, so they didn't really work. Like, there were Windows only drivers and they had no backwards compatibility with DOS and didn't really connect, so there was no way for it to play anything DOS back. So by the time I found Tyrion 2000, which I was happy to find because it was free, but by the time I got to Tyrion 2000, I was basically stuck playing on general MIDI. I am curious now. Let's play that through Windows Media Player. Again, this would have been through the Sound Blaster in my day. Let's skip it forward a little bit. I'm trying to hear if that melody comes through. Yeah, it's there, but it's very quiet. It just blends into the background. No wonder why that didn't really used to resonate with me. Because by comparison, we go to Tyrion. One mustn't fall. Here it is. Yeah, I'll skip forward a little bit. Then the melody comes in next. See how much more pronounced it is? And that's what caught my ear when I was playing Tyrion on Friday. Yeah, like that. I'm gonna go back to some One Must Fall music. One Must Fall music as fallback music for the silence. Bad joke, I know. Slap wrist. Okay, so yeah, that's why reason why before, like, that track just never really caught my attention. But you hear it back as it really was intended on the Sound Blaster and, you know, OPL synthesis. It just stands out so much more, which is why I want to try to see if I can do something with the track. Where to begin? That's really always the question. I get caught up in this the One Must Fall music here. Yeah, where's the other one I was playing? No, not that one. There it is. What was this one? No, this is the one I was playing. Yeah, keep that as a background music. All right, let's go ahead and... I'm probably bring up the whole thing a little bit louder. I think for right now, that's where I'll leave the drums at, because I really don't know what direction I'm going with this yet. I honestly don't. I just want to see what I could do with it. All right, so what's the first background noise? And that's one of the ones that stays the same, right? Okay. We really want a symphony kind of sound, or we want something different. Not piano, not really brass, because especially with the stings later. Feeling kind of like guitar-y with that one. Maybe a different font. You know what? I'm gonna go a little bit off the cuff again with, because I want something that's not standard guitar, but has like a twang string of a guitar. Because that's probably got a shit ton. Let's see, 704. So that's gonna have a pronounced background element for a long time. So I don't want it to be something that's too bold, because otherwise it's just going to get annoying and then it's going to compete with the main melodies later. Not sure I like the octave down, but I don't like the idea though. I think I need to soften it up a little bit though. So you know what that means? Reverb changes. I know somebody's cringing. Why are you adjusting anything in reverb? Reverb's stupid. Well, for lack of something else. Let's see. Because we don't want, well, yeah, we want to back it off. We not necessarily want an echo. We just want to kind of soften the attack on it. Basically is what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, I was gonna say these because that's not playing well, is it? They gonna crash? Probably gonna crash. Yeah, We want for free sometimes. It's all right. It happens. And I didn't save, did I? No. Is the clean? 29,001. Yeah, that was it. All right. Let's try that again. This time, let's not try to play it while it's open. Reflections. Back off the drive. We don't really want back end reverb. You know, I was trying home studio. You know, that actually might not be the... Nope. Okay. Saved at that time. As I say, that might not be the one. I actually might want the plate reverb one here. Let's see. Without sounding on beat, though. Oh, it's this one. That's so loud. So loud. I'll stick with that for that background element. We'll see how that goes. All right. Oh, that's got some changes in it. See, and that's the other thing. Like, the one instrument was extra loud, but how are the rest of them going to be? Wait, did it jump through 4 of those before? And this is what I mean about the programming of rips like that. Like, it jumped right past into the melodic toms. So does it even really need anything besides the toms on this? I don't know. That's part of the trick with these rips, though. All right. Atmospheres. Was that the only other one? Okay, this one stayed the same. Wait. That comes in halfway through? Because I'm looking at the spot that's indicating for where that actually comes in at. 12 notes. Why? Why didn't they just make this the entire channel for the octave brass section? Why did the... I don't know if it's the programmer's fault or the Ripper's fault. Maybe the Ripper... Like, the Ripper probably didn't have a choice. Like, they just ripped it and there it was. But it's just like, why is it on a separate channel like that? Makes no sense. It's 12 notes. Like, why didn't that just become the channel entirely for the brass, you know, when they were programming it? And this is where I'm not trying to assign blame to the programmer either immediately, because, well, programming it for a computer game versus a MIDI file, I'm going to say it's probably two different things. Unless you're literally just using MIDI files. Mega Man X for DOS. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Oof. uh, no. Bye, bot. We don't want bots. Viewers, yes. Bots, no. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, taking out some of the harsh on that and letting it kind of reverb into the background a little bit. I don't know if I'm sold on the instrument yet, but I like the idea. And I'm not trying to go too crazy on the drum change right now because I don't know the direction it's going in. How many notes are on that? 96. So it's likely that it does change into the... Okay, it doesn't really move there. Toms. Then jump halfway through. So yeah, it's on the toms for a while. Where does atmosphere come in? What? 2 notes. 2 notes. I'm just laughing at how absurd that is. Literally, this entire channel of MIDI data is for 2 notes. Now, the one that has nothing on it, that could potentially be programming data. I can understand that, why there's nothing on it. Nothing programmed into it. Or it could have just been unneeded. But sometimes well, actually the programming data might be on track 1 here. Because there's nothing assigned at all. Yeah, what the heck is with those 2 notes? That's just such a fuckery. Oh well. Alright. So we know that comes in. This comes in on the second half. Okay. So these 2 pieces really aren't... I mean, this is basically whatever last notations before the very end of the song. Because look where it's at. And this is until the second half. Alright, so what do we focus on? That mess? Where does this come in? Earlier on. All right, let's try to nail down that octave brass section there. Because the other one is... Well, both octave. Where are you at? Halfway point. 12 notes. All these fancy changes. I know, less active MIDI channels, probably the better. Probably wasn't... I think I said this during the first session. Less MIDI tracks, probably less memory it needs, so that it could run on lesser hardware or take up less resources for the main game itself. I get why, it's just still absurd. Okay. So now... Okay, let's... Nope, not that one. Octave brass. Let's see what's going on with this one. Pause music and let's give it a play. Right, where is it? Okay, I got confused when I saw the playback progress jump to halfway. Probably because when I clicked on another thing. All right. It's an accompaniment to the brass section. Shaking my head. Just shaking my head. Smile nod. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just the smile nod. Yes, it's brilliant programming. I mean, the music is really good in the game, so it is good programming. If you want to look at it from that perspective. What do we want? Okay, let's go back to our... Oh, no, let's stay on Dawn's right now, since it's got a selection. I want to do something like an orchestra hit. Well, if we're going to do orchestra hit, if we're going to try that out, we need... Where is it? Impact hit. You need... I forget if I need to octave that up or octave down. What? Dum dum da dum dum da dum da dum dum. I put it on the wrong part of the channel. No wonder why it didn't sound any different. Gotcha. Was I? Let's try it just normal octave. Well, someone got angry. Let's go on some other MIDI programs. Maybe that's what's causing it to be extra angry today. Yeah, we started on Friday stream before Friday. So it shouldn't be the computer needs a restart. Maybe I just had too many MIDI programs open. So it's being extra angry. All right. Ah, that's how our wonderful little melody is hidden away. Okay, overall too loud, but I just wanted to get it out so we could hear it. So probably need to match the volume on that as well. Let's see. I think I'm the wrong. Might be thinking of the wrong sound font. Or if it's in disco. Disco. Oh. Was it in Synergy? Let's look. No, what am I thinking of then? It's gotta be in Dawn's then. Where is it? Well, for right now, let's make sure it's not on like fret noises. Also, don't know why the last note is in another channel entirely. All right, let's go to Super Tello. Still on it? Yep, I am. Okay. Oh yeah, there's some of the other ones in it. That's what I was looking for. Okay. I think some melody kind of came in. I kind of started getting a feeling for it, which is why I'm changing out the drums now. Ooh. So I do something with the metallic toms. crank it up some more. Might be too high pitch. I think I do like the orchestra hit. We just gotta find what might fit in there. What about Tyro's synergies? No. Arachno, what about you? I think this is still too quiet overall. Just looking at the volume levels. I mean, stream-wise, not song-wise. Nah, not faster. Nah. Trying to see if a tempo change might do something I like, but not really feeling it. Got a good groove right now. Definitely like that staccato heaven there. Now that we're kind of putting in some extra power here at the drums, I'm starting to wonder about the general MIDI, not general MIDI, general Mega Drive font we're using there at the guitar. I'll have to think about that. I think Arachno's orchestra hit is working good there, though. I wish I remembered to do one more version of. Did a MIDI edit to loop it once before I started, but oh well. Que sera, sera. Okay, so that kind of works. Figured out the track here. That's that melody that comes in. Might as well change it to match so that I can remember where that's at. Here, since I'm doing administrative stuff right now. Staccato heaven. There we go. All right. Yeah, I should probably change that as well, so I don't get that confused on what's on that channel, and that I don't need to change that anymore. All right, matching. All right, cool. All right, we're starting to get into a direction here. Well, these are the easy parts. Yeah, think about this. What do I want to replace the square wave with? Because I actually might keep the brass section. Oh, I wanted to get the toms changed over. Any toms in here? That's all that. This might not be as bad as I think it'll be. I mean, again, this is going to be the tedious one, but in terms of instrument changes, I don't think it's going to be too bad. I think we'll work with it just fine. Though I say that, famous last words. Knock on wood. Sorry about that. I was like, I'll knock on wood. So I knock on the shelf that the mic is attached to. So I probably knocked right into the microphone. I apologize for that. I was not thinking about that. There we go. That's wood that's not directly attached to the microphone. The toms, yeah. I gotta think about this. Because what I need to think about is I want toms that are going to be different and more pronounced. But since these are all sharing the same volume channel, I can't have one that's like, well, say like, you know, the Sonic Virus one here is very quiet. That's why it's tuned plus quiet. So I have to crank that up. The Arachno sound font tends to be a little bit louder, so I have to turn that down. I can't use one that's on a higher extreme volume because the rest of them will be impacted as well. So I have to have a think about this. Do I even want metallic toms? I want synth drums or something like that instead. Well, let's give it a listen and find out. Yeah, after overall style, the synth drum might be a little bit better. Again, I can't adjust like that's like, let's say if I wanted to try those on a come on, brain. Octave higher. That would affect the rest of them. Considering how the rest of the drums sound, I think the synth drum is a better choice for it. Is that going to be the one we use off of that sound font? Well, that's what we'll experiment with. I just realized why I shouldn't do that while it's running. Because I changed the sound font while it's running. That's going to change in the wrong place. All right. Let's try Synergies. How's your sound? Not as much fun. Tyroland, what about yours? Because I know if I do the Racha Plin Plin, that's going to be a little bit too pronounced. Not enough oomph in it. Yeah, because this one will probably be too loud comparatively. But I like it. I have to turn down the volume and the rest of them won't be. Alright, what else is on this channel? Before anything. What is the bass and lead note? That one. Very much pronounced in the beginning. Because the tubular bells I could probably get away with on the Rachata Plin Plin. Because I do like the bells in that one. Well, let's experiment. That's the whole name of the game. Let's see how they sound. Because if I can get away with them on that, then these are the same thing, just without the toms. I don't get why they did that. I know, I keep hammering on about it. And that's why the volume would have to go down. Can I find something that sounds okay at the bass lead? What about the other synthetic bass? Not that one. What else is in here? It's on extended MIDI, so. What about... No, that's not pronounced enough. No, probably not. Nope. Hang on. I was like sounding like I was dying there. Not a good sound. How about the atmosphere track? Wait, what? What did I say about leaving that window open? What does that sound like? What changed? As I had open, it changed. This is the tubular bells. Where are you? Tubular bells. Where are you? Tubular bells. Oh, my eyes are just glossing over it. Actually, that atmosphere did not sound bad. Hey, Fee, welcome in. Welcome to the MIDI bar session. Not too bad so far. We got some fun changes ahead. We're starting to dig into some of the weird programming of this MIDI rip, but honestly, not too bad so far. We might have gotten away with changing the sound font here. Wait. That was bass and lead. That was synth chop. Actually, I'm working on a do I still no? Because I have it. Oh, it's a track I heard through Friday, from Tyrion 2000. One Mustn't Fall. Um, kind of did. Since we might have some more people kind of showing up here. Um, hang on. Since we're not just in silence. Fallback music. So yeah, Friday, playing Tyrion 2000, there was a track that stood out to me. I was like, hey, I should take a look at that next Bard session. So let's see, it's a rip from, because Tyrion 2000 and the original Tyrion had MIDI support, so that's where they got them from. They took basically the data that would have been played for the game for MIDI playback and just ripped it into a separate MIDI. So what it would have sounded like prior. Pause, and we'll play it through regular old Windows Media Player. So the thing that I was lamenting about is that by the time I got around, this track was not in the shareware release, which I played a lot back when I had a Sound Blaster compatible computer. But by the time I found Tyrion 2000, I was on newer Windows-based hardware and didn't have Sound Blaster compatibility. So the MIDI playback was what I heard a lot of the later tunes in, until eventually technology, emulation, all that, such and such. So we get to here. There's a section that comes in with another melody, but it's very much in the background here. Can't really hear it. It's there, but it just fades in. Didn't really ever sound very pronounced. Like, it didn't grab me or anything. So it's like I was familiar with this track, but didn't really think much of it until pull up the file. Tyrion, One Mustn't Fall. When we're playing on Friday, I'm gonna jump ahead. Yeah, just so you hear it come in, you know exactly what instrument that was you just heard. Hear how much it stands out. I was like, hey, this track, it's got more to it than I remember. So that's why I kind of going back to it for this MIDI session is grab that MIDI, and we're kind of working through it right now here. Still got some things to change, but just an overall idea. And letting it shine. Maybe a little less solo on the orchestra hit now, but that's fine. We're still tweaking and figuring things, dialing it in. The staccato heaven for that second melody, definitely keeping that. that just lets it shine the way it's supposed to. Because even in the original MIDI, it's just like it does not come through. We want it to. It's a part that really punches out. It's supposed to. But yeah, I mean, MIDI's not always perfect. And playback is not always perfect, so that's why I do what I do. All right. Yeah, I think we got away with it for the atmosphere there. I just need to figure out this. Because what else is on this track? When does the bass and lead play? When does it play? Really? Really? Really programming? Really? So it plays here on this track first. Then it goes over here to this one when the frickin' tubular bell comes in. Weird programming. Okay. So that really needs to be the same instrument. So does that mean I gotta lock in the same sound font on that one? Wait a minute. Why do I have that volume down? I wonder if I was mistakenly changing that. But let's put that onto Rochetta Plin Plin in the atmosphere so that matches. Atmosphere, here it is. Wait. What are we working with here? Wait a second. Hey, I need to pay attention to these instrument changes because it's swapping the tubular bells to here to there. Is it playing on both? All right, let's set these back to 0 state. I gotta pay attention to this and see what's happening here. They literally swap back and forth. It's just so absurd. What's the point of them swapping channels? I don't know. I don't get it. All right. Okay. Yeah, we gotta make them the same because otherwise they're not gonna sound the same later. All right. So all tubular bells need to be the Rochetta. So actually, I'm gonna change up the One Must Fall track here. All right. So we need to change all tubular bells. All bass and leads need to be the atmosphere track. Might as well make this all Rochetta Plin Plin then. All track. Bass and lead need to be atmosphere. Tubular, synth, atmosphere. Again, the changes aren't too bad, just confounding. Oh, wrong one. Full track. All right. Okay, atmosphere. That'll be the one we need to change, but bells, atmosphere. Nope. Here. Atmosphere. This is why I always have music on the ready for the background. I hate to be in total silence during this. Alright, so now we need to figure out what we're doing about the... Some picked bass, maybe? Yeah, it's only on that channel. Something that's only on one of the channels. What a surprise. Alright. Let's hear. You know what? This might be an instance where it's okay to go with something louder. Because yeah, that picked the bass coming out of good. Arachno, what about your basses? Your basses belong to us? So it's grabbed my attention. The reason why I was going to that synth bass 2 tonally, and this may change, but right now at least, that profile sound, you hear that, and then you hear tonally, it's like they're complementing each other. I don't know if they're stepping over each other yet. That's where my decision process is not complete yet. But tonally, they kind of complement each other. And it's standing out from the just bassy of the kick in that. And the synth drums. But it's also not bright enough to get in the way of the staccato heaven of that second melody. Not sure if I'm sold on the orchestra hit version yet. Start from the beginning again. I might need to do... Yeah, just as fine as that, like that. I think the drums are a little too overpowered in my ears here. Yeah, because I backed off those drums, the atmosphere notes are coming through a little clearer, and that's helping considering our hands are a little bit tight on the volume there, being on the same channel. Back that there. It might work. It's there, but not too pronounced in any way. Considering it hits the same time as the brass there, it's more of a compliment to the brass now. All right, making some progress here. No, it's only one loop of the song, so we're a little bit on the shorter side, so the quick progress is not unexpected, but still, kind of liking where things are going. I'm really trying to figure out what I'm doing with that square wave. That's gonna be fun because how many times it changes. Because it keeps going back and forth between square and that brass section. Fun. What do I want to do with that? This is gonna be annoying to test. Pan flute. Similar profile, but maybe something that'll kind of. Not that one. I ain't pronounced enough. Maybe not the pan flute then. Oh. Which one was that again? Is that the real font? Yeah. Probably won't work, but let's give it a try. Not sure. Problem is I need to change a whole bunch of them so I can hear it in succession. So, background music we go. All right. Honestly, that may not be too bad, but I got to hear it again. Just a couple of notes ain't enough. So here we go. The annoying part. I got to do this every time I audition the instrument on this track. It's all right. It's still early in the stream. We got time. Real fonts. Nope, I did. We'll go about halfway through, then give it a test listen. All right. I don't think the echoing is working on that. Curious about something. No, it's not about too low of a note. Wasn't another one? You pay attention to. No, there was no other square wave, so nothing else was doing an echo or anything with it. Because the original had an echo, right? No? Pull up the original. Because I could have swear it would. Like a call and response echo. PC. Tyrion. I'm just wondering if my brain is not registering or if I'm misremembering. Oh, I guess I've just been filling in like some phantom call and response in the back of my mind. Okay, all right. Then that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah, because both the original and the MIDI do not have it. Just go do boom and then fade out. It must be like my brain was interacting with like boom boom boom. They have like that was like boo doo doo. Must have been connecting in some way. It's the only explanation I got. Now I gotta every time I open that up, I gotta bring that back up. All right. Background music reprepped. Okay. Don't know that I'm sold on it. Yeah, that's the problem changing it. There's a question: the alto sax or just the wrong profile? Let's do a couple of them changed over to, like, let's say the tenor sax instead there. Because I'm wondering if it just doesn't fit at all with the rest of the instrumentation. Because that could be. Like, if I built out the track around more natural instruments, that might have actually worked. But since I didn't... What else? There's a soprano sax. Just to try real quick. So I almost like the alto sax there, but I still don't know if it's fitting with everything else. The synergy's not there. Let's see. I think a saxophone-like sound would work there, but not just a natural sounding saxophone. Because the soprano sax, like we're getting some like a saxophone profile, but this one doesn't come across as natural sounding like the alto on this one. Let's think. Music back on while we're thinking. What font we want to try? We'll try disco font. No, full font replacement. Yeah, so soprano ain't working, but trying to make my eyes catch which one. Let's try the tenor sax. Huh? I was like, what? Yeah, I did change one. For some reason I jumped the... Oh, probably when it clicked to click the very edge there. Okay. So let's say, how did I get there? How did we get there? We don't know. But we figured it out, so I guess we know. Let's try this with the tenors on there. I think I was right about fake versus... Yeah, because the natural sounding alto and that one versus a faker one that kind of sounds more in line with the rest of the synthetic instruments. I think I was right about that. But the question is, do I like it? Well, background instruments. All right. Let's change more of those over. Maybe if I hear it for longer. Using super Italo. Do I have something specifically for echo? I wonder if the chorus. Not necessarily that we need a reverb, but something that's just gonna come on respond with it. Make sure I'm on the right bus there. Okay. Not too much depth. Might be giving it a little bit more depth to it. Might not be bad. Obviously, final decisions will be made later, but... Alright, we gotta address something that's bothering me. The atmosphere hit on these ones. Arachno, can you save us here? Something else has got to hit there. It's just not enough to fill it out. Gotta be bassy. Let's change both notes out there because that'll kind of add to its sustained sound. Get a better idea that way. What else is loud? Spirin, what do you got? No. No. Don't think it's gonna be loud enough, but I'll try it anyway. No, because I gotta pop it up an octave. That ain't gonna work yet. Let's see. You know what? General user, sometimes you surprise. Not quite the surprise. Hollow, what about you? I'll try something. Because really is the bass is not there. Question is, if I bump up the bass, is that going to do something with the synth drums? Or are they high enough range that we won't hear that change? Let's find out. No, wait, that's rebalance. Because of that glitch, when you put two on the same bus, sometimes they become louder. I was outside, damn, we impacted that other line. I'm like, wait a minute, that's higher pitch. Why would it? Okay. Drop that chorus effect. We need something different. What is this one? Nah. Hate to keep relying on the reverb tools, but no, because that's just a general delay, not adding another one. Looks like I can do it the chorus. I just don't have this tuned in right. I'll freely admit that I do not have the strongest grasp on what each of these does. I just kind of mess with the knobs until they sound right. Should I admit that? I don't care. This should be a lower frequency, maybe a higher depth. Yeah.
Here is your rehydration solution.
Thank you, Phoenix. I was zoned in there. It kind of caught me out of there. Ah, smash water. Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you. I don't know if it's really doing anything about the right programming. Nope. Nah, I don't think I can get it to where I'd be like, because chorus it's too tight knit. I'm really trying to get something to be like a quarter second echo after it. Ba, 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 ba. Something like that. Quarter second is probably still too long. Maybe it's an eighth of a second, but the idea. But okay, so that's not working. So I guess I will go to the hall reverb, I guess. Is this gonna crash? No. We're good. So I'm trying, even though I'm not 100% sold on the that particular tenor sax instrument, I still feel like the effort I'm trying to do to beef up that saxophone, the way I've got it in my mind, is also going to be beneficial to the brass section ringing out as well. So it's not going to be all for nothing. Let's see. I think I like that synth bass too that I added. Yeah, and the way the Genesis guitar and the synth bass too kind of, yeah, lean more towards compliment than more compliment than stepping over toes. Oddly enough, I think when I amped up the lower end on the equalizer, I think that helped like smooth the transition between the. Oh, so that's cut off. So the curve is definitely more onto the lower end for those atmospheric notes. I think that also ended up helping smooth over the transition to the synth bass. Unintentional, but hey, I'll take it. If there's one thing that messing with the putting the tenor sax in there, kind of solidified that I definitely don't want a square lead there. I mean, I will freely admit that I try to get away from the square wave as much as I can, unless it really just makes sense to have it there. Since I'm discussing again, just because I got nothing against a good square wave. I mean, so much classic, 8-bit music had relied on it. But that's also the thing. People are like, oh, we're going to recreate that by using square wave and everything. It's like, you don't necessarily need the square wave, though. Especially when you have more instrument choices like what I'm working with in MIDI remastering here. Like, obviously they were limited with what they had, and they're trying to make a not similar, but at least comparable output between MIDI and the OPLs like Sound Blaster and such. So all the choices I'm sure were on purpose and for good reasons. But for me, if I'm gonna do a square wave, it's gonna be a square wave. I mean, it's gonna be like I'm gonna try to go for a retro system. So why go if it's just a standard square wave unless it really does fit there, So that's why I tried to experiment there. Since we've got the freedom, let's work with it. Let's see what we can do with it. I like the idea of the false saxophone sound there more than the square wave. I think because we changed over much of the other instruments, that the square wave just almost sounds out of place now. I mean, good. That's kind of the point of replacing it. Let's see. I need to hear how it is with the rest of. I gotta get the rest of this filled out. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that because I don't know how it sounds against the staccato heaven here. That second melody that comes in the second half of the song. So let's change that over so we can hear how that goes and if they fight or if they complement. Because if there's one thing I'm not doing, I'm not changing these staccato heavens. No, I'm set on those ones. I like that sound. Especially since it's supposed to be like a spacey track anyway, because, hey, space shmup game. I'm not changing that. So if anything to change, it would be that saxophone. So I needed to hear those together. So here we go. Changing them all over. Super Science Show. God, it's one game I would like to showcase. Not because I know if it's really any good or not, but just because back from my school days. It's hard to find because it's from a little-known... It's an education game, and it's from a little-known developer. And I think it was only on Mac. And they didn't really do much else, so it makes it difficult to track down. I have seen like a entry page for like, I don't know if it was Giant Bomb, but you know, some site like that where they're just have entries. So yeah, as I kind of said, the Super Science Show, it's basically, you know, again, it's edutainment. It's framed as like a game show, like a what's that, like tic-tac-toe. I was going to say Hollywood Squares, but I'm like, well, you're not asking somebody the questions, you're being asked. And you have a host there, you know. It's like, you know, your standard, you know, host. So the Super Science Show. That's where, if you ever hear me go, yes, indeedy, that's where I kind of grab it from. That's one of his lines. That's when you get it right. Yes, indeedy. And just like, you know, your Hollywood Squares, you got to get the question right to get the spot. I want to track it down. Don't think I've actually, like, I've seen an entry page online about it, but I've not found an archive of the game. That's been the problem. Because, again, little known development company, didn't really have much else known for it, I don't think. But I'd like to show it off just because it's something that was just in my brain that lives rent-free in there. So that'd be one of those things I would like to show off just because of it. Like, Who's Your City? Like, who the heck knows about it? Is it really one of the best game series on PC? Probably not. And who knows about it? Really? Not much. But it's one of those things that's just in my back of mind history, you know? And if I'm going to be showcasing things, yeah, might as well. I mean, it's not something that obviously would be like multi-streams or anything like that, but just something that's kind of like a one-off that we could do, you know? There is one of these times where I wouldn't mind doing like an edutainment. There is one other game, but I found that. I think it's part of the Super Solver series. That's available on DOS, so that's a little bit easier for me to find. I mean, played it on Mac because, well, that's what computers had. They had all Apple computers. But it's available for DOS, so... yeah. Pretty sure it's part of the Super Solvers series. Mad Scientist Morty. Yeah. I mean, as it is, when I get around to the to the Mario theme stream for PC games, I was like, yeah, there's gonna be some edutainment in there and that too. Not so much everything that I grew up with, although Mario teaches typing. Okay. Alright, that's a heck of a way to be put off of anatomy. I'm really curious, what the heck did the game do? Anatomy, it's just like show pictures of knees in your face, butts, you know, just throw a giant x-ray of a schlong. I don't know. It's like, how the heck, what? Oh, ooh, I could see that why. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you there, Phoenix. Ooh, nasty. Yeah. Some of those things is just like quite a topic for a MIDI bar stream, but like dissecting frogs is just like, I know why. I understand the concept behind it, but it's just like, do we really need to though? I know some people are like, "Oh, this is interesting. I'd like to pursue this further," and that's fine. Like, kids need to get exposed to things so they can find the direction that they want to go in life. That's what part of what school should be. I mean, besides learning your basics, it should be kind of preparing you to enter the rest of adulthood to kind of figure out where you're going after college, trade, whatever it may be. But yeah, I mean, if somebody's like, "Oh, I don't like this," especially when it comes to like the grosser parts of anatomy, yeah, it's just like, I've got no problems with needles, but if I see a syringe, not syringe, an IV into my arm, I see it, I'm like, nope, gotta look, nope, can't look, gotta look away. Yeah, some people are squeamish, but that's fine. There's other things in this world. There are some people who look at that and be like, oh, I'd like to. I think of that scene from Mel Brooks's Dracula Dead and Loving It. The course where they're going through an autopsy. Like, I'm not poking fun at you, Phoenix, so I'm just yeah, some people are just not able to do that kind of thing. Like, they play it up for the laughs, it's just like, oh, these people couldn't handle it. It's like, yep, he put them through the ringer. That's fine. Some people are absolutely fine with it, and they can get their hands dirty. Oh, I don't. Nope. Stop that thought. But then some people are just like, oh no, this is not for us. Yeah, and that's fine, because that's what we got so many sciences, so many levels of art and production, so many directions a person can go into. Let's see, 1 second. So many directions that people can go into. And I realize you can't try everything in high school. You can't. Like, there's just not enough time, not enough different teachers and classes. Really, there's so many things. I'm repeating myself here, and I'm becoming a broken record. I just wish there were more ways we could expose people to a wider view, a wider field of what they could interact with. Like, I kind of got lucky, like, at least band was kind of a thing that I could be a part of. I mean, probably would have helped if I had actual music classes, but didn't really have that. I mean, if anything, those are more like your special advanced classes that only particular people got access to, and, well, that wasn't me, I don't even know how you got into those classes in high school. But, I mean, you look at what I'm doing right now. I'm literally working with music. I'm literally trying to make something new audible for people to hear, Like I said, got lucky that at least band, being part of, the regular jazz and orchestral bands, kind of let me have some connection to music going through school. But think of like where I could be instead if I had been able to latch on elsewise, like other areas of it. I don't know. Anyway, did I got all those set? I did. I think I got all those set back when I was talking about Super Science Show. Just where things could be and the direction people could go instead. All right. Hey, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna close this up and reopen it. Just because there's some occasional, the way that seemed off balance to me, and I was adjusting the volumes. I want to make sure everything is coming through balanced the way it should be. So that's why I want to start opening up these extras. the STFX in that, it can not permanently, but until you close it out and open it up, volumes and stuff could be off. Maybe I do gotta put that back up. Just kind of turning volume and left and right balance, panning. I'm liking how this is getting around. Let's see. I'm almost wondering now, with all that I've done, I should kind of take a look at the drums again. Like, that worked really well, but let's see if there's anything that kind of works now that we've got all this in place now. See, if I was doing a more analog take, that probably would have worked out. Mm. Yeah, I think we're locked into the rubber drums set. Well, that's fine. I like it, but I was just kind of curious. Oh, stretch. Oh, stretch. Okay. Okay. Don't think I'm sold on the saxophone. I like the noise profile. I try to do like more of a synthetic saxophone to kind of try to dial in that profile. Cause I like that. Maybe I should try not oboe, but maybe something like that. Just wonder what's gonna have enough grr to it, like a saxophone does, though, without being a saxophone. Next puzzle to figure out in this one, but otherwise everything else. I mean, I might look into see what else, what different not orchestra hit. Where is it? Yeah, the octave brass section. Maybe I can try another font to see if I like that one better elsewhere. But otherwise, I'm liking where this is dialed in. I was really thought I was going to change my mind about the Mega Drive guitar there, but with that synth bass too complementing it, I'm sold on it now. Hmm. Yeah, I'm really liking that a lot. Alrighty. I gotta think. I'm watching my bitrate here. Twitch sound. It looks like it's taking a fall, but I think we're okay right now. Looks like it's still okay. It's not like it's jumping around. All right. Anyway, I see. Thing two. The original track is called "One Mustn't Fall," which is again reference to "One Must Fall." Even then, I can almost imagine like a battle of machines. Maybe not necessarily one-on-one like actual One Must Fall, but yeah. Now what do we do? The orchestra hit. Now that we've kind of got that chorus effect out of there, the orchestra. That was one of the other reasons why I didn't want that sound in there when I was trying to attempt the quote unquote echo that I was trying to make out of it. Is that the orchestra hit didn't react well with it. It's like it didn't. Like the notes were just like the semitones were just fighting each other. Now, the question is. See, it's a brass section, it's octave, so it's probably... I'm trying to think what I could try to replace it with. Let's go to one of them here. What's that known as in other circles? Yes. Which number is it? 61. Highway 61. Oh, LA Brass. I was reading that as like the LA saxophone. I was like, no, that's not the right instrument. Yeah, yes, it is. Okay. So brass section. So that should be the standard brass section, and then the synths are after that. Okay. I don't want something too real, because otherwise I think we're going to run into the same situation as the saxophone. So now I'm trying to think, what's profile? Does who did the, let's see, yeah, disco font. Try to get an idea of like our volume level too. Hey, Techie, welcome in. A few weeks ago? Oof. Yeah, I did that earlier today. It's just on theme for what the track that we're doing is. Because the track is called One Mustn't Fall, which is a reference to the game One Must Fall. And I did accidentally fall. And never guess what was playing on the store radio. Free Falling. I am not making that up. So I took a fall while listening to Free Falling. No, it was not at the chorus. It was just before the chorus came around. But after I got up and limped away, I'm free falling. I'm like, fuck you, radio. That was not supposed to be instructions for my brain. Super slippery floors for some reason. Anyway. Like I said, it's just all themed to the names of these tracks that we're working with today. Okay, my brain's curious now. Because honestly, I know the chorus, but I'm just like... What were the lyrics that were going at the same time? Because after the chorus hit once, it was in the second set. I don't think this appropriates me. All the vampires walking through the valley. Lewis down Ventura Boulevard. All the bad boys are standing in the shadows, and the good girls are home with broken hearts. No, sorry. It may have been appropriate for the name of the song, but now the lyrics were not appropriate. It was not like a movie or TV show. Although close enough. Okay, what are we doing? Yeah. Oh, this change only. I do that in multiple because I gotta hear a few of them. No, not there. This track. This says leaks. That says leaks. Everywhere you look, it says leaks, leaks, leaks. Let's just do a few to start just to hear how it sounds. All right. Definitely not. What the? All right. That's the problem of it being like that. Phoenix, what about your section? And you know what the whole joke of this will be? Is I'll be happy with just what was it before. I'll end up back at Don's Colombo. That's a very real possibility. All right. All right. Where the frick? Hang on. That ain't sounding like a brass section. That's just sounding like one guy. Like this one just says brass, but it's just like even the other one didn't really sound too full. Again, this is. I think I might just end up back at the Don's Colombo. Brass. Yeah, it's fine. If it works, it works. Just thought I'd experiment. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah. Because it's running on 2 octaves at the same time. It's giving it some substance. I think we'll stick with that, which means we'll stick with... Where? This one. Yeah, here. Because it'll be the same. That should be the same volume then, if this is going to be the same octave brass section. Make sure it comes in equal volume here. Alright, I guess that just leaves us with the tenor sax, because that's the only thing I'm not really sold on. Everything else, let me give it a listen, I guess. But I think everything else I'm happy with. Get back to the defaults here. Yeah, and to my ear, like as soon as the staccato heaven comes in for that second half melody, that saxophone just even sounds even more out of place. It's got nothing to really resonate against or with or anything like that. Because even the orchestra hit for as not as pronounced as it is, it's still a sting. You know, the orchestra hits sting, and when the brass comes in, does its sting, it's something that's working with something else. You know, once we get that other melody in, because I mean, for all intents and purposes, the square wave and the brass are the melody until that second half of the song. Then you got that part that comes in, basically is the real melody. So we need something that's gonna. While we're thinking here, let's get the music back on. I was just telling myself I need some thinking music. Is there any different thinking music? Let's see. I'm paying too much attention to the music. I'm not thinking. Damn it. Oh shit, I hit that. No, I just selected. I didn't change anything. Alright, we're okay. Alright, now that's still a loop, maybe I'll stop focusing on the music. Alright. What do we want besides a tenor saxophone here? Oh, I know. Yep. Yeah, they got my own version. Oh, this just has a sound font name. So I don't think I did a full MIDI remaster of this one. This is still back from the time before I was doing full remasters. Alright, what do we want besides that? Let's stick with the retro Super Italo Disco font. Thing too is that we already have, because that's thing is something like, you know, the power brass as the LA stat, or you know, but we already got a brass presence on the response to that one, so piano's not good because it's simple melody. It's just a bum, bum. We already got the bell, so we really don't want something that goes with that because that's just going to clash when it comes in. Don't want atmosphere because we already have atmosphere earlier. Yes. Do I go back with the idea I had with the hand flute, except with this Super Talos version instead? It's going to lean a little bit towards the square wave. I think I'll give it a different presence at least. So it'll be pan flute instead of just basic square. Let's try it. I ain't got much to lose except time. Although, one could argue losing time is a bad thing. Right there. Yeah, we're in a little bit of a wackadoodle weather pattern here. I wonder what it's like tomorrow. For us here. A little warmer, but a little nastier. Hey, for you, Phoenix, for your new job, yeah, I would imagine the weather definitely plays more. Me and myself, I'm like, the weather's shitty? Don't matter, I'm at work, I'm already shitty. Too real. Okay. Dang it, it did click. Am I holding it too? Okay. For some reason it thinks I'm clicking too long. I was like, why is that happening? I mean, this still ain't too bad. Do I really need to do a remaster of that? Maybe not. I could probably still do it better, though. Brain, why? My brain's just like, can we do a slower jazz version of this? Stop it, brain. No. Bad brain. If we're gonna do this, I might as well hear how it sounds with the, not that one. The other melody that comes in later. I wonder why I'm still doing more of these, that's why. Alright. Okay, they all look to be set. Let's give it a listen. Where does this come in at? Dun, 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 dun. 12 notes. Hmm. Oh, okay. And again, the main melody is going to be here. Here's about one more thing here. Okay, yeah, that still works fine. One, two, one, two. Where's the rest of its notes? Anyway, well, I know it's basically going to be like the the accompaniment, the harmony. Okay. So now I know what those notes are for. Okay. Good news and bad news. Good news, I do like the pan synth more. But I don't like the trumpets anymore. And that's why I wanted to experiment how it sounded before. Because this pan synth does kind of tie a little bit better into the staccato heaven. Not that they're the same profile, like the Genesis guitar with the synth bass too. But for melody and melody purposes, they work. They work better than the staccato heaven with the saxophone did. Hmm. Don't. Because if I don't use this octave brass section, I think I gotta get out of this. Wait, before I do, I was gonna say I need to change sound fonts, but before I do, the whole reason why is because Don's Colombo has an extended set of instruments. Is there anything else here I can use? Huh? What's the standard brass section then? Well, let's find out. Probably not gonna like it, but let's give it a try anyway. I get at least a few of these in here so I can get the idea. All right. Back to that single guy in the brass section. Sorry, I don't call that a brass section. I call that one guy out there. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to change sound fonts. Rack, no, what about you? One downside if this does work. Maybe not. Wait a minute. Hold on. I have to hear those back to back on the change. I was worried about volume issues before, but volume's fine. Doesn't always sound that different. It's like, is it the second half that I have a problem with? Because I'm like, there's a reason why I wanted to change it. Sounds like the same notes. So what was so stuck in my craw that I wanted to change it? I'm gonna put it back and give this song a full listen again. It's more in the mid. I like that quite a bit. Yeah. I don't know if there's really, like, other than me just trying to balance out some equalization and volumes, trying to take a little bit out of the tubular bell so that it doesn't come across too loud compared to everything else. That's what I'm trying to do with the equalizer messing there. Yeah, I think this is getting pretty dialed in. I'm gonna give it another quiet listen, but and just try to not to do anything, make any adjustments, just to see how I like it. So going quiet for one good listen. Just something about the last set of brass at the end. Is that the harmony's just too loud? So we need this. Last note. Wait. Let's go about the halfway point. I think it's the same notes. My mind must be playing tricks on me. It's like, I swear like I hear something different when I'm listening through. I think I might be matching things. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Unless the fickle artist hears it an hour later and thinks that there's something needs to change, like, I think that's gonna do it. Yay! Success. No, that's thinking music, not success music. Ah, they didn't have anything else ready. Is that success music? I don't know. It's a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this stream then. Get one more listen. I'm a little paranoid. But I mean, other than the audio balancing, that I usually do after, then I think this is done. Okay, I know what I'll do before we wrap up. Let's take us through the journey of it. From original to MIDI to remaster. So, One Mustn't Fall from Tyrion 2000. a track that got me interested versus the MIDI, as it would be here, well, it would be heard by most people through standard Windows Media Player. And then the remaster. All right, and that's the journey this tune took from original to MIDI to this remaster. Hey, where did I leave it at? Here it is. Forgot the mute. Just put something back on. I'll put that track back on for background while I'm wrapping up here. Yeah. So unless I really hear something off-putting when I go back to listen for the balancing between the different speaker types, that should be it. That should be all done. I don't know what I would change though. Quite honestly, I really don't know. So I think we're good. Although, you know, like I said, an hour later after some dinner, I might find something I'm like, But other than that, I think it's just a matter of balancing. So, yeah. Thank you, everybody that came out to experience this, to another MIDI Bard session. Glad I had some focus and energy to do one today. I'm glad I was successful. Because especially after the first session when we tried to do the Wacky Wheels track, I was worried about some of these programming changes in here. I was like, oh god, are we gonna end up just like we did with Wacky Wheels? Like, no, this one actually ended up pretty successful though. I mean, shorter track. Like, that helped in it for sure. Yeah. Yeah. And then once I get that wrapped up and balanced and recorded, it will be in the Discord. Find a way to plug it somehow. Or remind myself to plug it. That's more like it.